Hello, everyone. Get my stuff together here. I don't know what happened. It's been one of those days. You ever have those days? My hair's sticking up back here. Probably why you wear a hat, right? Yeah, you ever have one of those days? I think we all have had one of those days at some point or another. We're off to a rough start here. It's already almost 2 o'clock. I'm about an hour late. So computer issues. I mean, that's usually what it is, right? Computer related issues. So of course, I've mentioned before, I have an old computer, or it's probably considered ancient now. Although it's not as ancient as one of our first computers we had growing up. We had a IBM with Windows 3.0. Imagine trying to stream with that thing. But so yeah, it's an older computer. It's GTX 1060, whatever. Um, there's a way to pull up that information, and I think I have it down on Twitch. I'm not sure about YouTube. I don't think I do on YouTube. But the information is down below. It's getting kind of old. Um, Honestly, probably should not have bought this particular one in the first place. But you know, when you first get a computer, you don't think about it. When you first get anything, you think you made a good choice, and then as time goes on, you start questioning it. So growing up, hard drive was not an SSD like they are now. A lot of computers nowadays, newer computers, especially for gaming and whatnot, you have an SSD drive that runs everything, and that's great. It has its pros, right? But when they built my computer, they put in the SSD called the C drive. Okay, operating system, everything important is on there, but they only put about 120 gigs on it. Then they gave you the regular hard drive. Was it HDD or whatever the letters are? And that had a terabyte on it. So that's great. Okay, we got all this nice storage on there. So we could just, upload all our shit on there, right? And that's the D drive, right? So then I'm like, well, I'm streaming, I'm making videos, and then, I also run a business and whatnot. So I really want to have a separate drive so I'm not filling up the computer basically. So I got an external hard drive, 4 terabytes, um, and that's drive F. So everything that I pretty much download, save or whatever, is either on D drive or F drive. I try really hard never to really do anything with the C drive. Okay. But for some reason, it's still filling up, even though I'm not putting nothing on it. Which, in my mind doesn't make sense, but I'm not a computer expert here. Please keep that in mind. I probably would make all this a lot easier if I was, but it's it's going up and down all the time. Okay. Um, and so I've done all kinds of stuff. I've done disk cleanup. I've deleted temporary files. Oh man, today got rid of a bunch of apps and shit that I'm not really using anyways. And well, it helped a little bit. Long story short, it helped a little bit. But I had an issue where OBS was crashing. So here's my Windows screen. Okay, we're now at 2.69 gigabytes free. That's a lot better than the 146 megabytes free. But sometimes it'll do that. It'll say I have 2 gigabytes, and then I might open up a game or something, and then it shoots down to 100 to 200 megabytes. And I'm like, why? I didn't put anything on it. I'm not downloading anything on it that I'm aware of, but obviously the computer is doing something with it that I'm not aware of. And so it prevents me from using my computer if there's not a lot on the storage in the C drive. OBS crashed when it had 146 megabytes. Um, I restarted the computer, and it got stuck in a never-ending restarting loop. So I had to manually shut it down, and then I turned it back on, and we seem a little bit stable at the moment, probably until I try to play certain games. Um, it's kind of sad and depressing because there's some games that um, I've played that I want to continue playing, but I guess due to updates and stuff, my computer doesn't like the game anymore. It doesn't really want me to play it anymore. And that's kind of depressing. One of those games is New World, MMO. I know it had issues when it first came out where it was frying people's computers. I didn't have that issue. I could play the game on lower settings, you know. And once I lowered the settings, I didn't really have all that much problem. And now I'm having problems trying to get it to work efficiently. You know, it's just like lagging and rubber banding, and textures not loading in or loading in really slow. It's really funny when you load into the game and the ground underneath you is transparent and you can see the water that's, I guess, underneath the ground. You can actually see the ocean underneath you, and you can see the water like rippling and whatnot. But then after a while, you finally end up with ground, you know? And so I was having issues playing it, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to update my game driver, go into NVIDIA, update. Not enough storage space on the C drive. So after doing everything we did today, I was able to update it, thankfully. I tried loading the game at that point, New World, and I get to the character selection menu, and my character, his body from the shoulders down is white, like my shirt. Okay? Almost like a glowing white kind of thing. His head is there, the flesh is there, but he's bald, and it's obviously not the features that I created. So that told me there's some issues with the textures. So I'm thinking maybe trying to verify the files or whatever on Steam. But that's when I started having issues with OBS crashing and the low storage amount on C drive. So I restarted the computer. It got stuck in its loop. And then whatnot. We're here now. We're not playing New World today on stream, so I will see if we can fix it once we're done streaming here and see what happens. But 10-1, when I open up New World, that C drive is going to drop back down to below 1 gig. I guarantee it. I guarantee that's what it's going to do. There's several MMOs. I'm not a huge MMO fan, but there's a few that I do like. There's a few that, would be great if it was a single-player game in a sense. MMOs have their pros and their cons. The biggest con is sometimes it's hard to enjoy the story because so many other players just want to kind of rush through. They're more into it for the action and the gameplay, not really the story. It's great for, socializing, meeting new people, playing with your friends, family, whatever. That's great. I play it for that reason too. But you're trying to read this text, and then somebody keeps aggroing enemies towards you, and then you get interrupted, and you have to fight and blah blah blah, or the town's so full of people that it's lagging, or you're having issues getting into a dungeon. That's kind of an issue I had with New World. I'm not as far as a lot of people are because there was a period of time I didn't play it. And so they've done a lot of updates. You can probably hear my daughter in the background. She can be loud sometimes. They've had a lot of updates, and they made a lot of changes into the storyline and how the beginning is done and whatnot. So I would create a new character, to discover and see how that is, And so I'm not very far in the story on my one character, and trying to get into a dungeon in the beginning, and there's nobody else doing it. And so you're sitting there and you're waiting, and then you're like, forget it, I'll just do something else, even though that's one of the quests that you have to do. So it's like eventually I have to do it. And then if you do finally get a party together to do it, they've already done it. So they want to rush through. They don't want to explore. They don't want to do any kind of RPG stuff that you would do in a single player game, right? They just want to rush through and get the rewards. And so that kind of takes the fun out of it for you. And I guess that's maybe my downside of playing MMOs, because I grew up on single player games where you could do that. You can explore, you can read, immerse yourself in everything, and not run it like a race. You know? And of course, the other issue with MMOs is, the internet requirement and whatnot. If your internet goes down while you're playing the game, well, you're done playing the game. You're playing a regular RPG or whatever, internet goes down, don't matter. You keep playing. You might not be able to update it in today's games. I will say to some degree I miss the old games back in the day where you just put the game in the console usually, but yeah, with computers as well, and just play. You don't have to download, don't have to install, don't have to update, don't have to worry about storage really, other than your saved game files. If you have too many, you just play the game and enjoy it. And that's kind of coming to a point I'm getting to here. Is I grew up on console. Okay, it started with Atari, Nintendo, PlayStation, so, and then I started playing PC games, and that has its pros and its cons as well. The pro is, usually the game runs better, and you might have better graphics and whatnot. You can run it through OBS like we're doing right now, and have all these nice overlays and fancy stuff, um, and whatnot. But then you have issues like I'm having with my hard drive and whatnot that you don't have with consoles, at least not yet, anyways. You know, even with today's consoles, like the PlayStation 5, which is what I'm actually using, or just remote play. I don't have to worry about the C drive bouncing up and down. If I have too many games and storage is full, I just have to uninstall some games or whatever. You don't have the same kind of technical issues. Um, but then you don't have all the options. Although it is getting better, PlayStation 5, and I'm not familiar with the new Xboxes. I think they're starting to be able to do a little bit more. They're starting to look a little bit more like computers in a sense, smaller computers. But it's sad because some of these newer games that I would love to play on my PC and stream with these overlays and whatnot that you're seeing, I can't anymore with this computer. So I have to download them on my PlayStation and play it that way. And this game is actually one of those games. I first downloaded it on my computer, but it kept crashing and wouldn't play. So I refunded it, then downloaded it on my PlayStation and haven't had any problems with it. So it's kind of sad when your PlayStation it runs better than your computer. But on the same token, how many average people can just throw out $2,000-$3,000 for a decent computer to play these games? I have 3 kids, a wife and 3 kids, and I got bills, and those are the priorities over buying a $2,000-$3,000 computer. So it's probably going to be a while before I can do any kind of upgrade. And that is also part of the reason why we're streaming and we're monetized and whatnot. Whatever money I can raise up by streaming and whatnot, the priority will be towards updating and upgrading what we got going on first, because that's where it's coming from. Is coming from this. So I'm actually looking at a computer. It's with was it Skyforge or something like that? I can pull it up here. Let's see, stores, Starforge Systems. I'm sorry. Oops, I meant to open it. We'll get our stuff together here sooner or later. New tab. Meanwhile, Twitch is trying to open up. Here we go. Okay, Twitch is good. All right, so we have. I'll put this over here. Boom. We can actually go to full screen. All right, and you can get different skins for it. The way I can. Oh. All right, so that's what the base model looks like. I kind of prefer the base. I don't know if I'd want to put skins on it. But the cheapest one is you're looking at about $1,800, probably more when you add tax and all that mess to it. Um, but it looks pretty decent, nice looking. Then we can go down here and look at the stuff that's in it, particularly down here. And it's got a AMD Ryzen CPU, got a liquid cooler. Woohoo! It's got, was it 32 gigabytes of RAM? Awesome. And then it's got the GeForce RTX, which is the one that I guess this came out after the GTX. And then that's the motherboard, which I think that's probably the same brand, anyways, that I have on this one. Your primary storage is a terabyte. It doesn't say. I'm assuming that's the only drive it has, because I'm not seeing anything else. Like this one has the C and the D drive. I think it's just the one drive, the SSD. I'm assuming that's what that is. Well, terabyte is better than 120 gigs, right? And then it shows you all this other stuff. It's got 7 fans in it, so it should keep nice and cool. And then, of course, Windows 11. I wish we could skip that shit. But yeah, you got 1, 2, 3, 4 on the bottom, 5, 6, and 7 fans. I've never had a computer with that many fans. This one I have has 1. 1 fan in the back. I've already had to replace it once. But there is room to install more if you wanted to install more. So this is something I'm kind of looking at trying to raise money and invest in. And then maybe what we can do at that point is try to do a 2 PC setup and run games off the new computer and the stream software off this computer, and then you're spreading resources, not trying to use all resources from one location. So maybe it'll run better. I don't know. I've never tried it. We'll have to experiment and see at that point. Of course, having 2 desktops in here is going to take up a lot of room because I'm in a closet. I'm sorry. I am not as big of a streamer to have my own separate room studio. Sorry. I've thought about, maybe later down the line trying to convert my garage into a not just a studio, but like I told my wife, a couple's cave in a sense. You got your man's cave, and I guess they call the women's a she shed. I don't know whatever. But have a couple's cave, where it's just the 2 of us. We could have ourselves like a little mini bar, TV and games set up and whatnot, and we can have like a second, I don't know, maybe a family room or something like that, but just for the 2 of us, keep the kids out. Kids are destructive; they'll destroy things. But that's going to require a lot of investment, because it's a single car garage that's full of my junk, our junk, storage, and whatnot. It's got tools and yard work stuff, lawnmower and whatnot. There is a futon in there, so we got that already. We don't have to worry about that. It's got our beach chairs and all that stuff in there. There is a freezer in there, so all we need now is a little mini fridge, and some counters put in. But the other issue that we would have to take care of, probably first, would be the fact that there's a lack of air conditioning in the garage. Did not install any ductwork into the garage, even though it would have been easy, because if you're coming in the garage from the driveway, there's a door that leads to the kitchen. Well, right on the other side of that door is a duct, and a vent in the ceiling. They could have just continued it out a little bit further into the garage and had at least one duct to help try to keep it cooler, but they decided to be cheap and quick and whatnot and didn't do that. We have to look at installing an air conditioner in there before we could do that. They got air conditioners you can do that with. You put it up in the corner or between the ceiling and the wall or whatever, and you don't have to have all the stuff that you would normally have for your whole house. There's no ducts required, basically. And they use it in a lot of places. Public restrooms, some have them around here. I've walked through a like a manufactured home lot, and their house examples or whatever they had those in them, and they're really nice. They actually cool the room pretty good, but it's really designed for like one room, basically. I think temporarily we're probably going to use a fan to try to keep things in the garage cool. But if you're trying to use it as a game room or whatever, you're going to need a lot more cool air than a fan. The other thing is there's only 3 electrical outlets. One we had added in for the freezer. It's just piggyback to the kitchen. And then the other one is plugged in to the garage door opener up on the ceiling. And then there's another one on the other wall that I'll plug in, charge power tools and whatnot too. And that's basically it. I mean, I could probably have an electrician come in and put in some more if need be. I think air conditioning probably would be the number one thing. And then if I'm going to make it a game room, that means I got to move the other stuff out and put it somewhere. So that needs probably a storage shed. And the last shed I got was about $3,000 where we used to live. So, yeah, it's quite a big investment, really. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. However, we do plan on being in this house for a while. So, it costs like $275. So we'll be in this house for a while if a hurricane doesn't blow it down first. Knock on wood, that don't happen. So we're going to try to get a new computer. We'll have to see about game room later on in the future. See how that goes. If the world is kind, life is kind. All right, so new stream schedule. You might have noticed, especially if you're on Discord. Or if you clicked on my schedule tab on Twitch. As far as I'm aware, I don't think YouTube has a schedule tab yet. They have a tab for posts. So this is what I think y'all should do, since both platforms, they usually kind of copy each other in some way or another. YouTube, you need to get a schedule tab. And Twitch, you need to get a post tab so that, the streamers can leave messages to their followers and viewers and whatnot. So communication's a little bit easier. And then we probably wouldn't need Discord as much because you could do that all on the platform, right? Isn't that what you want to keep people on the platform? Okay. But anyways, so I was streaming Oblivion on Mondays, Fallout 4 on Tuesdays, Chained Echoes on Wednesdays, and then Final Fantasy 9 on Thursdays. So we've changed up a little bit. My wife's hours have changed. She was working Monday through Thursday, then off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we usually use Friday as our day to get errands done, things around the house done, appointments and whatnot, grocery, stuff like that. We usually did that. That's why I never really streamed on Fridays. But her job changed her up a little bit, and now she's going to be working Monday through Wednesday, off on Thursday, and then back to work on Friday, and then off Saturday and Sunday. So they got her working one day, and then she's off again. I find that silly, but I'm not her boss. Whatever. As long as they're paying her what she deserves, which should probably be more. As long as she's got a job, that's number one. But so we're going to work around it. So what I decided to do was some consolidation here. So Monday and Tuesday, we're going to play Oblivion, and we're going to try to get Oblivion done, and then we'll probably move back to Fallout 4 and try to continue where we left off on that, and do that twice a week. Wednesday, we're going to play Final Fantasy IX, continue Final Fantasy IX. When we finish that, we're probably going to we might do Chained Echoes and try to finish Chained Echoes because I'm kind of enjoying that in the story as well. And then we'll move on to kind of Dragon Quest 3 there. Try to catch up with Dragon Quest, and once we do that, then we're going to probably try to move on to Final Fantasy X, so forth. Working our way up the series. I'll be streaming pretty much 3 days a week. I'm going to try to stream 2-3 hours depending on how things go. If you're a parent, you know how life can be, right? So we all have our obligations and our responsibilities that take point. So I'm going to try to do 2-3 hours, 3 days a week. Our errand day got moved to basically Thursday when she's off. And then Friday, I got some things that I want to work on and not be online, not be live, basically. Projects I got that I need to work on. So we're just going to try the 3 days a week, see how it goes. All right. If you're new to the channel, you enjoy seeing what you see, just like all the other streamers say, please hit the follow, subscribe button, and thumbs up if you're enjoying it. I always kind of laughed about it, whenever you watch a streamer, regardless if it's video games or whatnot. Like my wife, she follows a personal trainer on YouTube, and she does like a workout in the living room sometimes. And right at the beginning of the stream, I've seen this with gamers as well. They're like, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. Smash that like button, That's like, I haven't even watched the video yet. You're telling me to follow you and to like you, and I don't know if I do yet. It's usually that should be something to say at the end. But I think the reason why people don't, because they know that people are easily distracted and attention spans are not quite as high. So the people who are going to jump into your stream at the beginning are 10 to 1 not going to be there at the end, or at least most of them are probably not going to be there at the end. So they figured, well, if I go ahead and say, hey, subscribe and follow at the beginning, and then I say it again at the end, then I can catch the beginning people and I can catch the end people. If it works, great. So yes, follow and like. Okay. So we're playing Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and we're going to do it on full screen. I have 2 different views. I have this view, which I usually refer to as the overlay view because it's mostly overlay. I kind of prefer to do this with the retro games like Final Fantasy because then the overlay is not taking up the game screen. And with like retro RPGs, the overlay could be, if it was full screen, it could be taking up a lot of stuff on the screen that you might want to see. Like, my face could be covering something up. It makes it hard. I'm moving my webcam all over the place. So this kind of helps me so I don't have to move my webcam and stuff all over the screen so that y'all have a good view. We could just do it here. Of course, yes, it does make the game screen smaller, although this one is one of the better screens that I have seen. Some people have much smaller than this. But, this way everything is out of your view. But with games like Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout, I kind of tend to favor the full screen because bigger, you can see a little bit more. And like in this game, you're not really going to see too much in the top right-hand corner. So I could put my stuff here, and it's not really blocking that much. So it's a little bit easier for you. All right, we're going to unmute the game. And so we are playing a Breton. We have most of our dwarven armor and bow and sword. We still need to get the dwarven greaves. We're still rocking steel greaves. So it's a slight mix match in color, but, at least we're not 100% like gold color. A little bit more variety, right? I mean, it doesn't look too bad. All right. We have the dwarven sword mainly because it is stronger. It's 8, and I think my other sword was 7. I'm not a huge fan of the way it looks. I like the fine steel sword better. And this Problem with this sword also is it doesn't have a sheath. I find it annoying in these kind of games when they don't have any kind of a sheath. You know, if you were in the days of knights and whatnot, just about every sword had some kind of sheath. Even if it was a small sheath, they put their sword in something. It had to hang off their belt somehow, right? They just didn't carry it around like retro RPGs, like Dragon Warrior. We're just going to walk around and carry our sword everywhere we go, right? No, they put it in their sheath. That way they had their hands free. In this game, it just kind of floats there like it's magnetic, sticking to the armor. But the main reason I have it is because it is a little bit stronger and it matches the other dwarven armor. The other thing that I'm a little baffled about, though, is I've had the steel armor for the longest time in this game. And the defense numbers are the same as the dwarven. And I don't know why. The dwarven should be stronger, shouldn't be the same. The dwarven sword is stronger. I'm not sure why they didn't do that. I don't know if it's a bug in the game or what it is. So at the moment, we're purely doing cosmetics as far as the armor goes, which I don't really care for the helmet. I think I like the helmet better in Skyrim, but the rest of it's not too bad looking. And then same thing, I had the steel sword for the longest time. I've seen the silver swords, but I haven't seen any silver armor yet come across the game. I'm not sure what the silver armor even looks like. We went from steel to dwarven, and I think Skyrim, the way it kind of worked is you started off with iron, just like this game. Then you got steel, just like this game. And then you got silver. And then dwarven. And then Daedric and Dragonbow. And this game, they did the order a little bit different. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah. So I do have a bound bow spell. It's not like it is in Skyrim. I played a lot of Skyrim, so I'm going to probably do a lot of comparing to Skyrim. Okay. I liked bound bow in Skyrim. You cast a spell, boom, you got your bow. Okay? And you have it for a long period of time. You have like a ton of arrows, okay? Which are bound to arrows, and I think they're supposed to be equivalent to Daedric arrows. Okay? And you have just about never-ending arrows, and you carry your bow for a long period of time. You can save your carry capacity. You don't have to carry a bow. All right? One less weapon to carry. And here it does it different. Okay? So your bound bow spell, there's different levels of it. And the one I have, I guess, is the most basic. I can only have it out for 20 seconds. So I can cast a spell, I got my bow for 20 seconds. So it's like I better hurry up and shoot before 20 seconds, ends. Your arrows are not bound. You have to carry arrows or your bound bow do not work. All right, so I shoot the dwarven arrows because I don't have any other arrows. So I shoot dwarven arrows with the bound bow. Okay? And so I'm not sure if I like the bound bow spell in this. There's pros and cons. Okay, the cons are it doesn't last as long, at least not the one I have, and you have to have arrows with you. The pro of bound bow is it's a spell. Okay, so you cast a spell, although they might hear. No, in this game they don't hear it. In Skyrim, they can hear you casting a spell, and so that ruins your stealth. But in this, we tested it. They don't hear you casting your spell. So you cast your bound bow. The pro is you're shooting. Obviously, after you shoot the guy, if you don't kill him, he's going to come rushing towards you, right? So that's when you got to switch to your melee weapon. And that's how you had to do it in Skyrim, is you would have to switch to your sword or whatever. Okay? But with bound bow in this game, because it is shorter period of time, By the time it gets to you, there's a good chance your spell is going to run out anyways, and it's going to automatically switch to your sword. And so you don't have to worry about opening up your favorites menu, switching your weapon. Meanwhile, you're getting attacked. Because in Oblivion, I'm pretty sure they still hit you even while you got your favorite wheel open. Whereas in Skyrim, if you open up your favorite list, it was like pausing the game. Which I kind of like that, for an RPG. Obviously, if you're playing an MMO, that'd be slightly different because you're playing live with other people. I like the Skyrim favorite list better because you can favorite more things. And with mods, you can organize it too. So you can separate weapons, healing items, magic. Okay. I think they should probably do that standard with all of the Elder Scroll games, right? Let you group your favorites into different categories and then push a button and switch between those categories while you got your favorites up. The favorite wheel is annoying because you can hardly put anything on it. I can show you. That's it. That's all you can do right there. You're very limited. Some games have something similar. You could push a button and have a second ring, so you could switch between your rings. Okay, that would make sense, but that doesn't. They didn't do that in this game. They didn't really do that with ESO either. You have your consumables, food, potions, and whatnot. You have your emotes, and you can switch between those circles. But you don't have like a multiple favorite list. Which with Skyrim you can condense it into that one solid list. Pros and cons. There's things that I like and I don't like about the game. I'm kind of curious about Oblivion when they finish it. I'm probably going to try it out because it's supposed to be in the Skyrim engine, which means it's probably going to be Oblivion, but like Skyrim. So some of the complaints that I have, maybe they've done the opposite or fixed it or whatever in Oblivion. So we're definitely going to try that out too at some point. What are you doing over there? Give me just a second. Okay, sorry about that. Like I said, I have kids. All right. So, close this menu here. Completely out. Oh, we're going to open it back up because we need to see where we are. All right. So we are right here at the camp. We're heading towards Kvatch. And we've done the ruin. We've done the thing with Meridia. And we've done some exploring here. So we're trying to continue to head this way towards Kvatch. I'm sure we're going to run into some more stuff along the way. But that is our main quest. We're kind of putting a lot of this other stuff on hold until we complete that. We can't buy the house yet because we can't even we can't make the guy happy enough to do it yet. I need to find 2 more Nirn roots for him. So we got to keep our eyes and ears open because you can hear them. We're basically remodeling this castle that we got, so it's like a free player home. You just got to kill some bandits, which isn't too bad, but then you got to make a lot of money to remodel it. But it's a fairly nice, big player home if you want to have a castle. I kind of like my little raggedy waterfront property in the poor district of the Imperial City. Beautiful water view. So there's a guy that looks like Reynald, and we need to go to Shaden Hall to investigate. Then we need to check the Prophet in Anvil. There's some mysterious stuff going on there. He's on the other side of Kvetch. So, I'll wait. We're collecting wine for the innkeeper outside the Imperial City. We got 2, I think, but she wants a certain amount before she takes them, so it's just taking up inventory space now. This farmer wants us to collect some slaughterfish scales. I've collected several, but now I'm having troubles finding slaughterfish in the area, so it's getting difficult to complete the quest. We got Arena on hold until we investigate the Grey Prince's background, which is on the other side of Kvetch. So we're heading in that direction too. We'll do that before we do the arena. And then, of course, we got to keep an eye out for some more Aliad statues, which we've only found the one at the beginning, and I've been in several other ruins and have not found any other statues. So right now we're kind of heading for Kvetch and exploring. Alright. Glad the bandits haven't respawned. But as you can see, there's no sheath for the sword. It's just bleh. Yeah, it's just magnetic. I can't even say the word no more. It's gone. The mouth is not working. He's using a magnet to keep it stuck to his armor. I guess that could sort of work. Although it would suck if you can't get your sword off your armor when you need it real quick. Alright, which way are we facing? This way. No, horse. Why are you going the opposite way? They need to work on that. Skyrim's the same way. You tell him to go one direction, and he goes the opposite direction. I wish the music in the game was a little bit louder. I can't turn it up any far. All at max. Now, I'm looking at the audio mixer on OBS, and it's kind of quiet. I mean, I can turn up mine. It's good for me. I'm not sure about for you. What's that? Knowles Meeting Camp. Down below. You know, if they could add an item to the game, a telescope would be great. You know, in Fallout, they added binoculars. You have it in Fallout 76, and if you have a mod or creation club, you can have it in Fallout 4. And of course, you know, if you have a sniper rifle, you can just use your sniper rifle. We don't have that option in Elder Scrolls. There is a mod in Skyrim that gives you a telescope where you can look through an eye and see the tents down there. Would be neat if they would start adding stuff like that in the Elder Scrolls series. Little convenient items like that. Because I've had several occasions where I'm looking down at the camp. In this case, we can't really see anybody. But, you see them, and you're like, are they friendly or not? Because if you could tell the difference, you might change your strategy a bit. Okay? So, not knowing if they're friend or foe, you might walk up without having your sword out, because you might think they could potentially be, friendly. And then as you get close, they attack you, shoot you with arrows, magic spells, whatever. But if I could stay up here on the hill, look down at them with a, binoculars, telescope, whatever, and see, oh, those are bandits, then I'm going to start hitting them with arrows from up here and let them come to me while I'm raining arrows down on them. Makes sense logically, right? Whereas, if I did the opposite and automatically assumed they were bandits, I could shoot them with arrows and then find out they were farmers. And then you committed murder. You see my point? We need a telescope. Elder Scrolls. Is there a road or a path that goes down? I'm going to assume most of the camps have been kind of bandits. But this is a meeting camp. I don't know who Knoll is. Do you have anything on this side? Been to that camp. That camp was a bandit camp, and that's the ruins. All right, we're going to get off the horse here. We're going to try to get closer. See if we can get a better look. You know, earlier in the chat, I mentioned I changed some settings. You know, I'm always trying to find a way to make the quality better for y'all. You know, obviously, the quality when I'm playing sometimes is a little bit different than what you're seeing. And I know because I'm doing remote play that requiring some Wi-Fi, and you might get blurs and pixelation. I apologize for that. But I'm trying to find ways to minimize that. So I just watched somebody's video earlier this morning, and you know they were giving suggestions about bitrate and settings and whatnot. So I decided to fool around and give it a try. This particular house I'm living in has better internet speeds than where I lived at previously. When I checked the speed earlier this morning, upload speed was like 450, something along that lines. So I'm like, okay, well, with that kind of upload speed, what bit rate should I be using? And, you know, some of the information was saying 12,000, 8,000, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I can't imagine trying to actually use that on here. Twitch is limited at 6 or 8,000 for partners, which I'm not a partner. You little shit! Where did you come from? I'm talking here. We'll do that. And I bumped the button again. I can't imagine using that for Twitch when Twitch is pretty much limited to 6. I guess YouTube is higher than that. Plus, I've had issues with bitrate in the past. For a long time, I was using dynamic, whatever, that changes it as your internet connection messes up. But I've had issues with internet in the past. But the other issue with Twitch is the lack of transcoding. Unless you're a partner, you're not guaranteed to get it. So they worked out with OBS this feature that you can use on OBS where I can basically use my computer, my internet, to transcode myself. It gives me 3 options, which, you know, you can click on the cog or whatever and look what those options are. But you can't use the dynamic bitrate changing thing at the same time. They're separate. You can go one or the other. So I chose to go with the transcoding option so that people aren't forced to watch in 1080 if they are not able to do so. I felt that was more of a priority, especially now that I got faster internet. So I kind of looked at his settings that he was talking about, and I decided, well, let's try it today, see how it is. We'll stress test it because we're multi-streaming, right? So my settings at the moment are... Of course, I'm using the Invank 264. Constant bitrate at 6,000 kbps with a 2 keyframe interval. I have the preset on slow and good quality, and then tunings on high quality. And then we have our video set to 1920 1080 at 60 frames per second. So we'll see how that goes today. Let me know if you have any buffering audio video issues, because that will let me know if I need to change for the future or keep it the way it is. Also, by watching the recording after we're done, I can determine how good the quality is as well. But I'd like to know what you're seeing as we're doing it. So looking at my stats on OBS, everything seems to be kind of positive. We're at about 15% CPU usage, 60 frames a second. It says frames missed due to rendering lag, 85, but it's at 0%. Skip frames due to encode lag says 21, but is still at 0%. And then drop frames as far as network goes is at 0. So we seem to be doing fine at the moment. Fingers crossed. There was times in the past trying to do 6,000 bit rate was not working, and I was getting messages, you need to lower your bit rate. Matter of fact, let me do a quick check to make sure everything's good. Stream health, excellent on YouTube. Way to go, YouTube. Let's see here. Let's go over to Twitch. It says excellent. I don't have any kind of error messages or anything like that, so we are good to go. We'll see how we do here. I will be honest. I've been playing some ESO, Elder Scrolls Online, lately, and of course the controls are different. So bear with me if I hit the wrong buttons because I'm merging games here. Okay. Like the biggest one in this game, you want to draw your sword, well, you hit the square button. You want to sheath it, square button. Just like Skyrim, or yes, you can hit the trigger button that you would to attack with. But the other trigger button is blocked, so you have to still hit square to put your sword away. Although in Skyrim, you had to hold the button down. It wasn't just one press. In Elder Scrolls Online, if you want to draw your sword, you can hit the trigger button like that, and you're fine. But if you want to pull it out or sheath it, you have to hold the left D-bar, or D-pad, or whatever they want to call it nowadays. You have to hold it down until it releases, or doesn't. And this, it opens up your menu. So if you see menus open up and then close real quick, it's because I hit the wrong button. Is that my horse making that noise? Alright, so I'm going to say these are probably bandits. I still have my bound bow spell up. So I can sit here and I can... It'd be nice if there was eagle eye in this. And I can summon my bound bow. Like so. I gotta wait till he stops moving. And as you can see, it didn't last very long, did it? I gotta aim up higher. Well. See? But you don't have that issue if you lift your bow. Just take a step forward. What if he's not a bandit? I could be shooting at a friendly, guys. That's the other thing. In Skyrim and ESO, this button is not the point of view button, it's the sneak button. I only saw one person. Sword it is. Hello? You are a bandit. Yeah. What's the matter? You can't reach me? I tell you what, you can fight my skeleton.
Jump on my sword while you can.
Well, my skeleton was weak. Well, okay. If you want something done, you got to do it yourself, right? Oh, she got me. Take your lockpick. An axe is that silver. How is my carrying capacity, anyways? I mean, we could probably grab it, but we'll probably end up dropping it at some point. It's too heavy. Ooh. A crystal ball. Who's gonna tell us our fortune? That's strawberries. We got some strawberries. Ale. We've been drinking some ale. Morning glories. That's all that's here. No fire, I can't cook. Sorry, little one getting into trouble again. All right. Yeah, that axe weighs 41. I don't even know if that's really worth the... And you're not going to get 125 for it either. You know, that's always interesting, I've found in these Elder Scroll games. You know, it says that its value is 125, but you might get 25 for it. Played ESO for a long time, what feels like a decade ago. Yeah, I've been playing it a little bit on PlayStation 5. I just updated it today on PC. We'll see how it works. But they've done some changes. They're always doing changes. So, you know, the funny thing about ESO is they've changed the story, at least the beginning, some. When I first played it, it was on beta. And you started off in Cold Harbor as a soul shriven. You were in a cell, you had to help the prophet, blah, blah, blah. And then, depending on your class, or, well, your race, would determine on what faction you were in. And that's where you would start off, that location. And then over the years, they changed it. And you started in this other place. I can't even remember the name of it. You were in a cell, and there was a high elven lady, mage, whatever. And she tells you that she's investigating these ruins, and a portal opened up, and you fell down with a demon. And she locked you up to, you know, make sure you weren't with the demon or whatever. Then she discovers that you're not, and she wants you to help defeat the demon. And so then, you know, you do your little tutorial thing, get your starter gear or whatever, and then you go fight the demon, and then you end up in this room full of, I think that's a troll. We're going to just keep going. Full of portals. And then you choose a portal where you want to start, either in your faction area or the next place. So you start in your faction area, at least that's usually what I did. You complete that, and then you get on a boat and you go to the next area. Go to the next area, there's a guy on the boat, you talk to him, and you find out it's Marco dude. Whatever. rest of his name, Metamarco something. And he knocks you out and sacrifices you to Molag Bal. Then you end up in Cold Harbor as Soul Shrimp. And so that's how they did that. Now they're back to starting you off in Cold Harbor as Soul Shrimp, and they've completely eliminated that part altogether. I'm assuming people were probably not a fan, and maybe that's why they decided to go ahead and cut it. There's a farm over that way. That's where we were. Immortal Camp. Is there an Immortal Camp too? Let's go back here and check out this farm. It's not too far from here. And so, they've changed some of the job classes a little bit too, from what I've seen. So, I am a one-handed sword kind of user. I don't really care for shields, although, you know, they might be great for dodging or blocking arrows. I prefer just a sword. Extra mobility without the shield. But there's not really a lot of job classes that have just sword. Matter of fact, ESO doesn't even have ability trees for just sword. You have to have either 2 swords or a sword and a shield, or the great sword, 2-handed. They don't have anything for just a one-handed, one sword, you know, kind of fight. And so when you're doing your character creation, obviously anybody can use any weapon. You can have a sorcerer use a sword too if you want. You can have the sorcerer wear heavy armor if you want. But when you're looking at the default armor and weapons that the character creates, you can even look at their advanced armor, I guess, is what they call it. You can kind of see what is the general idea of weapon that they would use. So the Templar obviously has a sword and a shield. And then they created a new class called Warden, which you can summon animals to help fight with you. Whereas before you were a sorcerer, you can summon monsters to fight for you. The Warden summons animals as an attack. And he had on his image, which, you know, wasn't necessarily what you're going to end up with, but he had a one-handed sword, and that was it. No shield, just a one-handed sword. And I'm like, oh, well, that's awesome. Okay? Except there's no skill tree for it, you know? And so lots of times I chose that class because, you know, I like summoning things, and I like the one sword idea. Well, the last time I turned it on, not long ago, I was playing it, I noticed they changed those images a little bit. So Templar, his novice armor is sword and shield, and then his advanced, he's carrying a mace. I hate maces. I'm not into blunt weapons. I prefer sword. And the Warden is no longer, his image no longer has a sword at all. It's bow and arrow for both sets of armor. So I'm like, okay, well, if you read the information that they give you on the Warden, you look at his armor and weapons, he's a ranger, is really what he is. He's not, you know, I don't know where they got the idea for Warden from. Warden, I think of a prison, you know. But technically speaking, he's a ranger. And they probably really should change the name to a ranger. Yeah. So rangers, lots of times they use bow and arrow. In some stories, they use bow and sword. But he looks kind of cool. I might do a playthrough with our main weapon being a bow. But the downfall you have with that, it's a little bit different between an MMO and a game like this. Okay? So a game like this, most of the time, I'm going to use my bow at a distance, and as he gets closer, I'm going to switch to my sword. Okay? But in MMO, it's a little bit different. You can keep your bow and just keep hitting your ability buttons and whatnot. It's a little bit different than how you shoot a bow in this game. So you can do that. You can be primarily bow and have somebody all up on you and still using your abilities and whatnot. Whereas like this, you could get your ass killed. Real life, you would get your ass killed. Just try shooting a bow while somebody's stabbing you in the stomach, right? Well, it looks like we're at the back side of the farm here. We're going to get off our horse, do a little exploring. It is dark, so we need to put on our ring of light here. Although it's not lighting up very much. Slightly better. I don't see anything in here. Of course, it is nighttime. They're liable to be asleep. They got some crops growing. Oh, some pumpkins. Getting to be that time of year, we get to fall back to the pumpkin spice, right? Alright, door to... Alright, so we're going to save. Because I do not know what to expect on the other side of this door. And they might even be like, you broke into our farm. No, 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 no. Sunken One, a new quest. I've entered what appears to be a recently abandoned farmhouse. Perhaps if I search around, I may find a clue as to the owner's whereabouts. Alright, let's make it the active quest while we're here. No, it's not too shabby. It's bigger than my waterfront property. You can sleep in the bed. Ashes. This. Root pulp. Columbine root pulp. Leek. Ooh, a journal page. I've come across a discarded page from a journal of Slythe Syringy in an abandoned farmhouse near the ruins of Kvatch. It mentions some sort of pilgrimage to bring an offering of great value to something called the Sunken One. All signs point to the sandstone cavern nearby. I should proceed there, as I fear for Slythe's safety. That's how you pronounce his name. Alright, are we ready? As midnight approaches, I still watch the fires burn. The great city of man, Kvatch, lay in ruins. They didn't heed my words. They didn't listen to my voice. Now they are all paying the cost of ignorance. The Sunken One strikes swift and hard. He swats those who oppose him as they did not exist at all. The excuses of man fall upon deaf ears. The Sunken One has no pity. He has no mercy. He only sits below and passes sentence. Now, with a mighty stroke, he's toppled one of man's pitiful blights on his land. And yet, he still hungers. His appetite is voracious. Kvatch will not be the last city to fall by his hand. The world of man grows more and more corrupt, and it angers him. Man's lies and deceit will be his undoing, as the Sunken One grows impatient, no longer waits for or accepts proper offer. The burden is mine to shoulder. Hold down. I am the last one who knows of he who shakes the ground. If I do not bring him the offering, who knows what city may fall prey to his whim? Anvil? Coral? Or perhaps he will turn his eyes on the greatest boil of all, great Imperial city itself. No, I must not let that happen. I must get the offering to him like my father did before me. Man may be fallen in his eyes, but they must have time to learn the Sunken One's teaching. Destroying man now would be a waste, but I am certain that, given the chance, they will come to see his ways. Yes, I will do this thing. I will brave the depths of Sandstone Cavern to see him. My weapons will be my will and my word. The Sunken One will watch over me and guide me. I must depart soon, before it is too late. If anyone finds this page, let them know that I, Slythe Syringy, do this for the good of all man. Oh, there's still some ambers in this one. Well, it is almost 9:30. Gonna sleep. till morning. Now see, if I had a bigger favorites thing, I could favorite food and drink and kind of have a survival kind of mindset, make sure I eat and drink. Alright, so that's not the right button. We'll get there. Map. Sunken one. Yeah, he is pretty close. Motherwort. Oh, shites. That's not the right button. This is the right button. Where's that Legionnaire? Oh shit, there's a third one. Where's the guards when you need one? Bloody hell. I'm not really using destructive magic here, so... maybe some enemies respawn here and they can fight each other? Whee! Holy shit. Hey, goblins! Hey, goblins! Fight! Oh, they're not that bad. I was thinking they were like Skyrim trolls. Do need to level up roll fat. Doesn't weigh that much, and it's worth 25. Of course, probably more like 10. Alright, now we gotta go all the way back. I ran for no reason, really. Hey, water. Do not hear any Nirnroot. I hear Nirnroot. Hey, I got one. I think I need one more, though. Water's pretty. Clams. A pearl. Found the cave. If you want some, come get it. Alright, well, let's look on the map, see where we are exactly. Alright, let's find out what's going on with this sunken one. So I am going to go back to my inventory. Take my dwarven bow. I'm going to put it back on my favorites. I think much more convenient. A bear! My skeleton go? Somehow we ended up with breathe water. Sell that. That'll be a little bit worth money there. Sometimes the light spell bugs. A little bit more light. It's not the darkest cave I've ever been in. Got that way, and we got that way. Which way do you want to go? Left or where? Yep, and we're already overweight. That quick kill. It doesn't take much in this. One, this 66. That's why I was trying to do the bound bow thing, but not working for me. I got feather on self, but these bear pelts aren't helping. But it's not like we can do any kind of crafting. Am I still overweight? The bear didn't eat the rat. I think when they remastered this, they should have implemented more crafting. There's tons of materials that should be potentially used for crafting. Like the pelts. And then the leather. Water breathing on self. So I could wear that and not have to cast a spell. And that is only worth 6 points for bartering. And this is like infinite. Yeah. I don't have to worry about drowning no more. Hello? Mr. Sunken One? Oh shit. A will-o-wisp. Really? Ah, enchanted sword it is. And that is why I carry it. Low dust. It's not that heavy. We'll carry it. A big room. I could probably kill the rat. This is not going to do any damage on it. You insult my intelligence? Tavern or whatever the hell that thing's called. Chasm? Chasm. Enemy down there. What will we find? Yeah. It was alright. Well, I don't see anything else there. I don't see like stairs down. I could probably drop down, but would rather see what is back that other tunnel. Probably leads to there anyways. Dare. I can where we got that one. Sure, I got that one. You don't need iron arrows. Skelly. Gully. Arrow back. And ooh. Yeah, I think we're going to have to pass on that. Make us overweight. This way. Burden on strike. Doesn't really give you that much money. The big rooms, it said. We're going to the big rooms. I have will-o-wisps. Pretty much I have to use. short sword. Or I'm only seeing will-o-wisp. Alright, so we go that way. Also go this way. Tunnel this way. Rat or something there, so we take that out. Won't work on him. I was going to try to get his attention. I've located Slice Haringi corpse. I should search around him to learn the conclusion to his sad journey. Dark Elf. On his corpse, I've located his last journal entry. It seems he fell here believing he was truly going to meet his god and give an offering to him to help all of Tamriel. His death is a sad end to such a well-intended sojourn. Oh, shit. That his, that must be his gods. Void salts. Sunken one was just a storm elemental. Let's see if we can read his last journal in. Oh, we didn't even get page 2. I am fallen. I have failed. I will not reach him in time. Because of me, man is doomed. The creature jumped me without warning, and before I could dispatch it with my magic, it dealt me a mortal blow. Now all of Tamriel will face wanton destruction and death. His wrath will be unspeakable, his anger immense. Kvatch was but a small amount of his true potential. All hope is lost. The sunken one wakens, and soon man will feel his hunger. Get our arrow. Sunken one was not even really that difficult. Oh, hi. Alright, well, we went that way and ended up where we needed to go. So what's this way? Alright, we got a tunnel that way. Jump across on the roots. Okay, that's where Sunken Dude is. So what's this one? Here we go. Need the iron arrows so you can keep them. Almost instant. Take it all. What's down here? Or treasure. Cure poison. I'd rather have cure disease, honestly. A rare potion in this game. I guess because they want you to be a vampire. Alright, now we need to try to get across here. A dwarven shield. We are over encumbered. Of course, we can't do any kind of bashing in this and in the other ones. Lock. It does raise defense ups. Do have a feather spell, which does help. There. Alright, so the only other way to go is this way. Stick with the debasement. What will be in this treasure? What will we get? I think that is it. We have completed this quest and this tavern. Ooh. I don't know where the hell his second journal entry was. Probably somewhere in this cave. Maybe at the entrance of this cave. That's where I would put it. Guess we can Keep an eye out for it, but it's not gonna break my heart if I don't find it. There it is, the top of the treasure chest. As I descend into the depths of Sandstone Cavern, I wonder to myself, why? Why would the Sunken One test me so? Have I not been loyal? Have I not spread his word? Have I not obeyed his laws? This journey has been cruel and unfair. I've nearly met my end more than once. I don't know if I can make it to his home. But no, I cannot think this way. I must get there. I must see him. If I do not, then the world of man is doomed. I dare not tarry longer, as I do not wish to suffer his wrath. I must get the offering to him. Yeah, he probably was going to kill you anyway. C'est la vie. See that? That troll stood up. Damn, I can't summon my horse. Blow my horn. He is at the farm, I think. Well, let's head back to the Imperial city and market and sell things. Get rid of things. Oh, let's see. We're going to have to wait.
I'm Bernardo.
I know who you are.
For you, of course. Have a look at my wares. I'm sure there's something to suit you.
Look! Dwarven Greaves. Let's see. My steel greaves are 3, and the dwarven greaves are 4. Thank you. Gonna be a while before I can get that. Well, we can sell this. Have that silver arrow.
Tell your friends about me. Farewell.
Well, while
Good
you're
day.
here, maybe you can repair some stuff.
Can't go into battle with broken equipment. Take care.
Nope, we don't want to go into battle with
What?
broken equipment. Okay. Don't really find anything that I want in his shop.
Welcome to the Mystic... Please, go on. What can I interest you in? No deal.
Nope, he's being stingy.
You don't expect me to make that deal,
What?
do you? A good price for a good customer. You drive.
That one actually has a soul. We're gonna hold on to that.
That's a good.
We're gonna hold on to the one that
That's
filled.
more than I'd usually pay. You drive a hard bargain.
Destroyed on you.
I appreciate your business.
Oh, let's see.
Only quality goods for sale here. What
I don't
can
know
I
about
interest
that.
you in?
Nothing.
Good day.
It's my pleasure. For you, of course. Have a look at my wares. I'm sure there's something to suit you. That's more than I'd usually pay. That's a fair deal. That seems a fair price. I appreciate your...
Do you?
Have a look at my wares. I'm sure there's something to suit you. Always keep your magical equipment charged.
Oh wait, it's expensive.
Farewell.
They're expensive. Question is, do they ever get new shit? Or is it always the same spells?
I hope I can help.
I hope
Please,
so too.
go on. What can I interest you in?
Something better than what I got. Nothing I want.
Farewell.
Nothing I want.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Good to see you.
Well met. Please, go on. What can I interest you in?
Battle axe of hatred, huh? Oh, they got a dwarven short sword. Or dwarven. Elven. Let's say dwarven. Looks kind of neat. Be nice if they had the elven longsword. Oh, it was not enchanted either, so...
Bye.
Alright, let's go ahead and equip our greaves here. Okay. Oh, we got some rings we can sell. I should be wearing this necklace too. While we're shopping.
Well met. Take your time. See? Now that'll get you something. Every little bit helps. See? Was that hard? Have a look around. You won't find better prices in all Tamriel. Certainly. Have a look
was that
around.
ring?
You won't find better prices in
13,000.
all Tamriel.
That.
That's a fair deal.
I guess I should have
Thanks
been
for your business.
doing better bartering
Good
here.
day.
Better haggling. All right, let's head to the house.
Everybody needs a copy of the Black Horse Courier.
I do like that you can switch through your points of view. Like you got your first person, which is great for when you're like inside buildings, caves, whatnot. If you're out in the world, you can switch between two, although I prefer this one over the other one. And you know, this works kind of out well out in the world, and you can fight that way.
I steered clear of them. I avoid those things whenever I can.
I had an interesting idea when I was playing Elder Scrolls last night. And unfortunately, not going to work quite the way I want it to. You know how that is, right? So, playing Elder Scrolls Online last night. And I was thinking, you know, what kind of character class would I want to play? What kind of character race? And the whole nine. And I had a thought come to mind because there's a lot of neat emote kind of things that you can do with Elder Scrolls Online, and it does add some like immersion to the game, and gives your character something to do if you have to go to the bathroom or get something to eat or something, and then come back. So somebody's not just staring at somebody standing there, you know. You can play a lute, dance, the whole nine yards. Read a book, drink. But they also have Tai Chi. And so you can have your person stand somewhere and practice some Tai Chi. That kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, what about an unarmed martial art-like character? Now, obviously, they don't have that class option in Elder Scrolls. I think they need to add a lot more options than what they got. Martial art classes in Elder Scrolls tend to kind of get pushed to the wayside. They don't really invest much time in it. You kind of have to create it yourself, kind of thing. Now, obviously, in this game, I'm not really doing cross-play. I'm sure it is on there. I'm sure the settings allowing it. I've been just kind of playing solo at the moment. But so like in this game, you can choose a class that has hand-to-hand abilities. Okay. Which I can't go over them now because I've already chosen my class. So I chose class adventurer, but they do have hand-to-hand skills in this game that you can level up, which is great. You know, they should have added a similar function in Skyrim, in my opinion. But they don't have that option in ESO. And I tried it. You know, I unequipped my weapon and I just started punching the mess out of people, and it was kind of effective. But he never learned any skills like you do with the weapons. Oh, I'm like, okay, well, that's not a thing in this game, unfortunately. But it would be nice for something for them to add. And start focusing a little bit more on, because you might have a monk who doesn't want to use weapons, you know, or maybe hand-to-hand and blunt weapons or something. I don't know. But something along the lines of a monk, martial art, kind of unharmed class. In ESO, they have the Dragon Knight, the Nightblade, they have Sorcerer, they have Warden, they have Necromancer, and Arcanist. That's it. Technically speaking, Sorcerer, Necromancer, and Arcanist are all like mage classes. I'm sure they have different abilities, but there's similarities in the thought process. It would be nice to see a little bit more variety, is what I'm saying. And, you know, if they want to come up with ideas, okay, well, what classes do we add to ESO? I think they should look at Oblivion, because there's a bunch of different classes with pros and cons of each. Some might be similar, so you can kind of merge them together or whatever and choose from there. But I think that they need to add more. I think Skyrim should have had class options sort of like this, instead of just kind of jack of all trades kind of thing. You come up with your own immersion. But it would have been neat to have, because if he was a monk, if he was a martial artist, then that would be a little bit more understandable why he's practicing the Tai Chi in the emotes. Because he's a martial artist, you know? And so that would make sense to me. That's why it kind of gave me the idea. It's like, you know, I'm not sure about with ESO or this game, but I know in Skyrim they specifically let you know that if you play a Khajiit or an Argonian, because they have claws, your unarmed attack is higher. That's basically it. And then at one point, Skyrim added in the gloves and gauntlets that have like blades and stuff on them, but it doesn't. It's just for looks. It doesn't add to your attack. Doesn't give you any kind of special abilities. It's not considered a weapon. It's considered gauntlets. It does not help with unarmed fighting at all or hand to hand. It's just for looks. And I'm like, they failed at that. When they added that in, they should have added in other things for a martial art unarmed class and had each one boost up attack unarmed, because it has those blades and what. They dropped the ball on that one. Let's see. Weight 282. Is there anything I can get rid of? This is all for alchemy. Need to actually upgrade, honestly. It does add some weight, especially this one. Let's see. Put our strawberry in there. Where's magic? What does this stone do? It doesn't say. Or do we want to store that in our pantry though? Store it in our treasure. Quest item. We're gonna have to hold on to that for a while. I do have 122 lockpicks, but they don't weigh nothing, so. These things weigh a little bit. And then those weigh something. You know, I was hoping that the guy that wants the statues would buy this and give you more money, but it looks like that's not the case. Times 1042. Yes, let's go fishing in the lake. I had a fishing rod. All right. So once again, we are getting closer and closer to Kvatch. We will fast travel back to the farm. Fortunately, that person is no longer with us. We were not able to save them. Not know who will take care of his crops. Wolf, please no wolf. We'll eventually get to a road. There was another place. We got the mortal camp we can go to. Run up on somebody like that. Walk over him. Then straight to the mortal camp. Anything else on the compass? I do think the trees are pretty. They're kind of vibrant. That was something I liked about, I don't know if y'all remember when I played Ghost of Tsushima, however you say it, on PlayStation, the samurai game. The scenery was gorgeous, the sound, the music was all gorgeous, especially when you go through the golden forests, something like that. All the bright golden yellow leaves. You are not a friendly. How are you so quick with that? Because you're a Khajiit. Oh. Mithril boots. Light armor. Look at that. Hold on. There is a way for me. Hold R3. Now we can rotate. Those look kind of nice for light boots. Mithril. Are we getting into Lord of the Rings here? I've been focusing mainly on heavy armor, like a knight, but depending, we might do some light armor as well. Light armor would give you a little bit more carrying space. Be a little bit quicker too. That's all that's here. One bandit. No, I want you to go to the left, not the right. The horse is confused. On the right way. Yes, I am going the right way. Keep an eye on things popping up on the compass too. Oh, just a guard. Excuse me. You must have killed the wolf. We're getting there. Oh, we got Dosek Moor. Batch up there. Gate to Oblivion. There somewhere. We can go to Dosek Moor, I guess. Seem too far away. Door. Okay, well, I guess that's the way we're gonna go. What will we find? It is a wee bit darker in here, so why don't we, on our ring, put on our necklace of the sea, which ultimately means we don't need the breathe underwater spell no more. Wish I could use that. It's gonna be a while though. I don't really want to use like destruction magic. Those are really too easy. I need the upgraded spell. It's only level 2 for 10 seconds. And I could use that, but it's only once a day, so it's not really a good one to have on your favorite bar. Now, see, if you wanted to play a martial art character in this, then you could just add like the touch spells and punch, and then you could throw that out every now and then too. That would work with a martial art themed character, in my opinion. Once a day. That's 5% and only for 30 seconds. But you know what we could do then? Alright, so we have the skeleton for 40 seconds. The scamp can throw fireballs, which would be good for range. Maybe what we'll do is we'll put him right here, and then we'll put the fuel. Try that for. Might change it at some point. Down. Don't need that. It's not worth a lot of money. Well, we just keep going and going and going. Alright, we gotta explore a lot of space here. Statue lost its head. See what's down. Oh, okay. Nothing here. Alright, we're gonna hold off going through any doors. Something's making noises. Besides me. Dead end. Guess it caved in at some point. Just a rat. Well, came from that way. This way it is.
Oh, what's the matter? Is the baby gonna cry? The best you can do.
Give me just a second. I'll be back. Okay, let's see here. Oh, let's turn the game sound back on, shall we? Alright, what is down here? There. I'll leave you two to talk while I explore a little bit. Battle mage. There's some dwarven armor. I already got mine though. Although it's worth 400. We have another door. They both lead to the same place. Just different sections. Really? Wanna play a game?
Show me what you've got.
Let's see how good this shield works. Arrow of fatigue, huh? Repair armor or hammer. All right, let's see. I can probably repair something. I repaired everything. Woohoo! All right, so that must have caved in at some point. That way. Hey! I'm gonna say he has a dwarven greatsword. Dwarven claymore. Have a look here. Oh, we're both almost full. It's one point stronger than the long sword that we're using. It's okay. I don't like the end of it, like the handle, the bottom of the handle, the pommel. I think it looks horrible. The rest of it's not too bad. I'll be right back. Okay. I didn't really want to use that, but there we go. All right, we did that. The only other way to go besides the two doors. Tombs. Well, since we're here, we'll go ahead and head in this direction, and then I guess we'll have to go back and check those other doors. Unless this leads there, too. Let them sort it out.
Am I supposed to be impressed? Show me what you've got!
And the skeleton won. Ghost or something. Is that a zombie? Oh, I gotta get my defacer out. Slow him down with skeleton. And down he went. There is... Elven arrows. Oh, cure disease. We need more of that. Need some more of that. Man. Alright, so this is the way I came. Okay. Nice teamwork. Okay, so that takes me back to where I was. So we've done a complete circle. Probably would have been a good place to fight. The arrows, anyways. Alright, that's it for the tomb. Alright, we got one more set of doors to check. The feeling, you know, this will eventually lead to the other door. Here's the other door. Alright, we're not going to step on that trap.
This is the part where you fall down and bleed, isn't it?
I agree. It's the part where you fall down and bleed. Dwarven bow. $22 gold. That's it for that.
What's that? Am I supposed to be impressed?
For a warlord, huh? Big sword. Elven Claymore. I want the one-handed one. Ooh, a Caress of Cave Viper. Greaves of Laborer. Hammerfell Shield. We'll look at that. Orcish Boots. Then Steel Gauntlets. Okay. Let's have a look here. Caress of Viper. Obviously, it's going to be the same as the Dwarven Caress. But it resists poison. We're going to wear that. Greaves of Laborer. Fortifies fatigue on self, 35 points. It's the same as the other one, so we're going to click that. Hammerfell Shield fortifies block, which the Dwarven Shield does not, but it is weaker by 1. But we'll probably sell that, because it only fortifies 6 points. Not a big deal. Orcish Boots. We have not wore Orcish Boots. They are heavy. There are 2 compared to my drumroll 2. 12, it weighs 12. The Orcish weighs 13. So it's the same defense. It just looks slightly different. I think we're going to stick with the Dwarven since we got the Dwarven set. It's a shame you don't get any set bonuses like you do in Elder Scrolls Online. Okay, over here. Elven Claymores worth 600. It looks pretty sweet. I'm trying to hold R3 and it's giving me a hard time. See, it's flipping this way the page. Why is it doing that? I'm just not doing good with computers and stuff today. Things aren't working like they're supposed to. Finally. That looks pretty nice. I'm wondering what the one-handed one will look like. So we are very much over encumbered. Cast my spell. We're still over encumbered. This short sword does not come with a sheath, but maybe the one-handed one does. Okay, that's all that's here. Oh, it's a shame we didn't get a one-handed elven sword. But we might find one before too long or be able to buy one before. Matter of fact, we might check the Imperial City here since we're going to be... Almost there, guys. Alright, first let's let's go to the market.
Oh, have pity.
Equipped our bartering necklace.
Sir, I got nothing.
Alright, we gotta wait a little bit.
Well met. Tell me more. Let's do business.
Oh, let's see. That's the one-handed one. Pretty nice. Integrates armor and weapon. 100 points too. I could actually buy it too if I really wanted to. We're gonna buy it.
Pleasure to serve. Take care.
And we're going to... Alright, so it weighs the same amount as the debaser does, but it hits harder than the debaser. So we are going to replace it with the debaser. Because our longsword is still stronger than it by 1 point. Our longsword also weighs more than it too. You're not open yet? If she has a elven longsword.
A pleasure to speak. Certainly. Perhaps you need new armor, a weapon. I have a large selection of both.
She's got the elven short sword. I have the elven longsword. Oh, that's a shame.
If I can't fix it, it ain't broke. Bye.
We'll probably, maybe we can check some of the other towns' weapon shops. Maybe they have it. But we'll do that another time. Back to our house. I haven't gone up a level in a while. Pretty close. Well, that was okay, yeah, pretty close. They should have put that bar over here, in my opinion. Whatever. As long as there's something there telling you when you're gonna go up a level.
Hail, good citizen.
Hail.
How can I be of service?
Home sweet home. Alright, we're not going to keep the claymore. It does look nice, but it's heavy. Taking up more weight than we want. But we're going to keep it. We'll probably put it on display over at the castle, or where our other player home is. The baser is going to go in here too. That in there. So we don't really get poisoned much, but it'll be good to have just in case. And then putting our fatigue up's always good. Need one more Nern root. See, this comes with a sheath. We're going to save it for when we need to use the enchantment. Because some enemies require an enchanted weapon. And, you know, suck if you didn't have enough charge. So it's like we use the Dwarven Longsword. And we'll use this as backup just in case, you know, we need to repair and for whatever reason we can't. Plus we'll use this for whenever we're fighting an enemy that needs enchantment. That's the necklace for breath, breathing underwater. That's kind of neat, those little kind of animations that they've added. I like that. Alright, so we are getting pretty close to Kvatch. Probably is going to be our next stop. We're here. We've explored that, so the only place left is Kvatch. So, tomorrow, we're going to continue playing Oblivion. And we'll probably go around to some of the stores, see if the Elven Longsword is for sale yet. And then we'll move on to Kvatch. Alright. So that's all the time I got for today. Thank y'all for coming and watching. If you are new to the channel, make sure you hit those follow buttons. Subscribe if you're over on YouTube. Of course, if you're on Twitch and you want to subscribe, that would be great as well. As you know, that is a monthly subscription. It will give you ad-free viewing, emotes, sub badges, and whatnot. I'm trying to stream again more and more on Twitch so that we can start. You can set it up to where you do streams for just your subscribers only. No other viewers can watch. I used to be able to do that, but I had stopped streaming for a long period of time due to things going on in life. So apparently I got to meet the requirements again in order to be able to do that. Apparently it's based on how often you're streaming or something like that. So we might do some of that in the future. So if you are a subscriber, keep in mind, once I can unlock that again, we might do some streams where it's just for you subscribers. All right, if you're on YouTube, don't forget the thumbs up, like they always say. Helps us grow. Y'all have a great day, and I hope to see y'all tomorrow.